Hey guys, welcome. So, I wanted to talk today a little bit about Jupiter and Saturn and what's going on with these planets because in all the live streams, I keep throwing it out about how this is significant, but in the live streams, I'm really busy and it's hard for me to explain. So, let me, well, I got this phone here in case I need to look something up. Let me explain what's going on. So, these planets are significant because they're outer planets and they take a long time to change signs. Jupiter changes signs about every 12 to 13 months, give or take. Um, do I have it here? Hang on. I'm going to tell you how long Jupiter transits. Jupiter in Aquarius. Okay, Jupiter will be in Aquarius from December 18th of 2020 to December 30th, 2021, with the exception of the period of May 13th to July 29th, when it moves forward into Pisces, but then it retrogrades back again. Visions of a new future are likely abound with both personal and globally, with a multitude of advocates for a different and more progressive future. So what happens here is every 20 years, I think it's every 20 years, Saturn and Jupiter meet up in conjunction. So what that means is that they're exactly the same degree of the same sign. So they'll both hit 0 degrees of Aquarius on the 21st of December this year. The 0 degree mark is the new beginning mark. So we've got Saturn and Jupiter, which in Aquarius, Saturn is about structure and discipline, and Jupiter is about expansion. So this is going to change things for us on a personal level, but it's also changing things in the world. Now, it's very interesting that we've had a lot of restrictive energy coming from Saturn in 2020, and look at what the year we've had, where we've been on lockdown and we can't go out and all kinds of crazy madness is happening. But this is all starting to shift as we move into the age of Aquarius. 0 degrees of Aquarius, Jupiter and Saturn. So as I was saying to somebody recently, Jupiter doesn't really function well in Capricorn. Capricorn is the father of the zodiac. Capricorn is like, you take each step. You're right. You do each step. You do A, you do B, you do C. You don't go to D until after you've done C. Aquarius is like, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to do Z first, and then I might stop at M, and then I'm going back to Z, and if I feel like it, I'll finish it when I'm ready. Because Aquarius is like the rebel, right? So you have very different energies with Capricorn and Aquarius. But Jupiter, right, doesn't function well in Saturn. I keep saying it, in Capricorn, because it's known as being in like debilitated or in fall. Just doesn't function well because Saturn is more, I'm going to say it again, Saturn. Capricorn is more of like, you got to take each step and do each step, and Jupiter is kind of expansive. It's like we're expanding everything. We're the planet of luck, abundance, gifts. Let's have fun. This feels good. And Capricorn isn't like that. So it's Jupiter for everybody is going to function better in Aquarius. It doesn't function the best in Aquarius, but it functions a whole lot better than it does when it's in Capricorn. It's actually exalted and functions best when it's in Cancer. So if you were born with Jupiter in Cancer, that would be pretty lucky for you. Now, there are a couple of significant things that happen. Jupiter, each year, is in whatever sign. So for this year, the Aquarians should have a really extraordinary year because they have Jupiter sitting on their sun. So what does that mean? So let's just say, for example, that you were born at on January 22nd, depending on the year, January 21st, 22nd, could even be January 20th, could start Aquarius. But the sun usually moves into Aquarius around January 21st. That would be 0 degrees of Aquarius. So if you were born on January 21st, 0 degrees Aquarius. So Jupiter will conjunct your sun. Jupiter will hit 0 degrees of Aquarius. And that means that it should bring you some kind of a gift of some type. Now what happens is it's going to move through Aquarius, so it's going to hit 0 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees, and then at some point it retrogrades back and it'll hit you again, and then it's going to go direct and it might hit you even again. So this is a good thing. When Jupiter is sitting on your sun, it should bring you some kind of a gift. It should make something that feels good happen. It could be love, money, abundance. The very worst case scenario of that Jupiter could make you feel so good that you're overindulging in food and drink. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing, and sometimes Jupiter doesn't know when to stop. So that could be earthly pleasures with Jupiter. But for the most part, Aquarians should have a pretty decent year overall. I can't tell you it's because of everything else that's going in the chart, but this would be a favorable year basically for Aquarians. Now, everybody has Jupiter return. So what a Jupiter return is when Jupiter returns to the degree that was in your natal chart. So let's just say, for example, you had Jupiter at 13 degrees of Capricorn when you were born. That's where Jupiter was. That the next time Jupiter comes around and hits 13 degrees of Capricorn, you're experiencing what's known as a Jupiter return. That's also supposed to be a very significant year it could bring you some nice gifts. And it usually happens just about every 12 years. The significance of what's going on in the world is also mirroring what's going on in most of our lives. So for those of us that have been feeling like we're stuck, feeling like nothing is moving forward, feeling like I'm waiting every day that today is going to be the day that I get the job, or that I get the phone call, or that whatever happens, and nothing is happening to me. I feel the same as I did back in March. Things have to change when these two big movers change, once we hit that grand conjunction. And it's happening in Aquarius, which is humanitarian. It's the way that we do things that's greater for the group, not so much the individual. So it may be something as simple as, looking at the way we, say for example, teach kids. We may not be doing it the same way anymore, but we're going to be doing what's greater for the group, not what's greater for the individual person. But it will also benefit us on a personal level. So it's kind of like a dual kind of a thing. And I think as we move through this and we head more into the age of Aquarius, we're moving into a time where, technology is really important. We're very connected. I mean, in front of me right now, I've got plus that. And this is the way we this is the way we live. This is the way we connect to one another. Like, this is like having video chats with my dad that's in Florida. And this is how we function. So we're moving into a time where I think that technology is going to be more important to us, and we're going to be using it for more things than we ever did before. And it wasn't that long ago when not everybody had a cell phone, and those of us that did just used it to talk. Remember the phone where you had to press the 1 once if you wanted an A, two if you wanted B, three if you wanted C, and it took you 70 hours to send a text message, those days are done. Now most of us don't even have landlines anymore. So times are changing, and they're changing significantly. And we're also moving into a time where it really seems like those of us that have done the work, have done work on ourselves, are moving forward to a place where we don't have anything to hide. We don't have secrets, or we've done the work, so we don't have anything to be afraid of, so to speak. And people are exposing themselves for who they are. So you're going to see people, all of a sudden their mask just comes off, and you're like, oh my God, this is who you were that whole time. Like, I really thought you were someone else. But when that happens and you start to see this crap, don't blame yourself, because you chose to see the good in somebody who didn't deserve it. You didn't do anything wrong, they did. But I do believe that things are changing for the better. And as we move into this time, it's not going to take long for us to start to see these things happening. I think it's going to happen like globally in the world, that we're going to see it. It's also going to happen in our personal lives. And I think things are just changing. The way we think about things, the way we operate, the way our daily lives are, I think all of that is changing. And I think it's going to be for the better. So hang in there a little while longer. It's coming. All right, guys. If you like what we're doing here at the Magic Junk Drawer, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.